Hello, my name is Pony7 and welcome to a game that I've been looking forward to since I first actually saw it. It's made by the same people who made this war of mine. We're talking, of course, about FrostPunk, the colony survival sim or society builder. And I'm quite interested to see how this goes because I've been looking forward to it, and what I've seen a little bit. It looks like it's going to be good. So, we're going to dive in, and there should be a cutscene here, so I think there's a cutscene. I'm not certain. This is literally the first time I've booted this up, so we'll find out. Pulling a promise will make people hopeful. Yeah, of course, that's good. It's loading. Which is falling ill, depends on the conditions which they live and work. Yep. Oh.
We roam the still, cold world. No horizon in sight. The rulers of old, stripped of pride and glory. It feels as yesterday we were turning the wheels of progress. Until the frost stopped it all. Suddenly, without a warning. When tides had changed, they changed for all of us, no matter wealth or class. We've lost our world to snow. And with it, our last traces of humanity. We bid farewell to plenty, and for those who remained came the time to adapt. We decided to leave our homes and head north. We roamed for weeks, maybe months, leaving behind all the things we once believed had made us. It was hope that pushed us forward. Slowly, step by step. We knew the cost of our journey, and we paid the price 100 times. Finally, the time has come to build the last city on Earth.
I got shivers from that. Ooh, I like that cutscene. I liked that. A new home. We fled from London and crossed the sea to reach the frozen north. On our way, our convoy was hit by a blizzard and scattered. A handful of us managed to reach the site of this generator, only to find it frozen solid and abandoned. Why is no one here? Did any of our people survive the blizzard? Are there any others out here? Whatever we do, we should expect the worst now that the world as we know it has crumbled. We have to survive. Nice little pan in to our crater, where we will spend most of the day. Fight the cold. We need to get the generator working. It provides heat and power to other buildings. Without it, we'll freeze to death. Stockpile some coal and start the generator. Now, immediately, there's a decision we have to make that possibly will decide this run. But I'll just quickly put some people on gathering wood. 20 to there. 20 to there. Max them out. And then, of course, we have 5 engineers left, which is perfect for an infirmary. So that's fine. But we still have 15 children. So, the decision becomes, do we open up the Book of Laws? Child labor, safe jobs, it will increase our workforce, and will, in the short term, help us tremendously. Although children work at less efficiency from what I've seen than adults. And then we can eventually put them into all jobs. Or, because this is a branching one, there's some of them that split like this that don't branch from what I've seen, but this one does branch. Child shelters. Children will stay safer if they stay in cool child shelters during the day and won't cause any mischief. We have to, if we do this, we have to build a child shelter, which isn't too expensive, although we will have to shuffle things around a little bit. Hope will rise, which is something we would like. And providing all children with a place in a child shelter gives a permanent hope bonus, which then we can also lead to apprentices. So this is really something that could greatly affect our survival. This choice right here. Either we have them working, or we play for the long game in hope that we can make it to where they'll make a difference with either medics or engineers, like faster research or faster healing. Or we could go for something else. Fighting arena, emergency shift. But I don't think we need emergency shift just yet. The game is still going to be, from what I've seen, it's going to be a little bit gentle with us for this start. I'm going to go with the child shelter for this run, because it gives permanent hope boosts. Plus, we can then choose to either make them apprentices for medics or engineers, which will improve research rate or improve healing. So,
hear me. New law in the city.
So people are happy with that. Of course, we now have to build a child shelter as part of the law. So it's different size than the rest of the building, so actually hold on. What heat level is it? Base heating level 2. So actually it can stick out here. Outside of this inner ring. It doesn't need to be on the inner ring, because it has slightly better insulation. And then we also need elf. That needs wood, which we have somebody going out to grab. 6 an hour. And then of course we're going to let time start. And coal is ticking up. They don't actually have to be there for work to happen. What are they going to do all day? Watch the snowfall? Kids just be doing something useful during their time in the shelter. And that's them whenever you enact a law, the citizens will go and talk about it a little bit. And then, I like this. I really like how they just blow and force all the snow out of the way to get there. But if you noticed, it's already been ticking up despite them not even getting to work yet. Basically, once it becomes work time, it starts ticking up. Doesn't matter about when they actually get that to their jobs. As long as it's work time, they get going. And here they are building. So, let's not zoom out too far. We're going to want a medical shelter, medical center, and actually I'll wait till we get the wood first. That way we get that going first. And then we can put the engineers who are building this, once it's built, into there. That way anybody who is sick can immediately start being treated. This is wood, 6 an hour. Let's tick up time. Children cared for. The child shelter is ready, and the children are safe inside. People can work without worrying that something will happen to their kids. Hope rises. That is a positive thing. If the permanent modifiers, every kid has a place in a child shelter. We fulfill the promise, and we pass one desirable law. Then they're building their child shelter. Note of thanks. We just wanted to thank you. Back in London, it was only the wealthy that didn't have to send their kids to work. In this new world you're creating, we can see things will be different. It was the right thing to do. Hope will rise slightly. So we just created ourselves a little nice buffer by doing that. I like that. In case something bad happens, we have a nice little buffer. Workforce, yes. We now also need to start building tents. Because that's all we have at the moment. Alright. Workday is done.
Workday ends. Time off.
We'll get that last tent queued, and let's also put the engineers into here. Let's fire this baby up. There's enough coal for 4 days at this generator rate. The generator hums with restoring warmth, but we shouldn't take it for granted. The generator goes down, the city dies. Be mindful of coal reserves. Now food. There'll be no city if we starve to death. Secure a way to provide raw food and build a cookhouse to prepare some meals. Or prepare meals. Alright, so we're going to do a little bit of shuffling. We now no longer need as much coal coming in. Let's get some steel in, because we're going to need it. Got one coal pile, one wood pile, one steel pile. This wood pile is actually about to... It's probably going to... It's 10-hour workday, so at the end of the day, this wood pile will be basically empty. And now, there's really nothing else to do for tonight. Yes, there's lack of shelter. Of course, illness and healthcare. I think somebody may have gotten ill. Facing level 1, so that might have to go in the inner ring. And Hunter's Hut, that can go out a little bit. But, oh, we can sign a new law. Let's look at that. Let's see, fighting arena. I had to build a fighting arena. We can also choose right now the way that we will do this. Radical treatment or sustain life. The graveyard will be kept alive but untreated in medical posts. Hope will rise slightly. And then gravely ill will remain stuck in medical posts. They'll take up beds. Or we will try everything to save the gravely ill, from invasive surgery to amputations. Gravely ill will be treated so they won't stick there. Hope will still rise slightly. 30% of the gravely ill will be left as amputees, so they won't be able to work until we get some new technology. And discontent will rise slightly. I think I'll go with radical treatment, because then I don't have beds clogged
Listen, everyone.
with
Law is signed.
the gravely ill. They can just get treated. And actually, yeah, we have 2 sick, 2 are being treated. Yeah, because we didn't have any houses. I just hope they won't cut off my leg if I fall ill. At least we'll be saving lives. They're up now. Free time. At least we're alive. Not everyone's so lucky. And they're off to work.
Get to work. Move, people. There's plenty to do.
Alright. We got that going. Let's build a hunter's hut first. We'll build this one ring outside of the temperature ring. We have a steam core, that's for later. And we also do need to get the cookhouse. Cookhouse is 20 wood. There we go. I'll stick it on the inner ring, because it will need some temperature in the future. And then we can also
Time to rest, folks.
work on building houses. Housing problem. No roof over our heads. Captain, people are understandably concerned about the lack of shelter. They're falling ill from sleeping outside in this terrible cold. We better do something about it. I'll have 2 days to provide some shelter for 20 people. I'll provide shelter for everyone. I won't address this right now. So, basically, you can gauge how much you're going to promise based on what you think you can do. Like, I think I'm in a position because I got houses being built right now, and then I still got another work day, and I still got wood around that I can go, okay, I'll provide shelter for everybody. No problems, I'll get it done. If I was in a position where I didn't have as much wood, I could go for, I'll provide some shelter. And the amount you go for will dictate how much hope you get, or if you succeed, and how much you lose if you fail. But I think I'm in a position where within 2 days, I can get shelter for 40 people. I think that is quite doable in our position. We'll get that going. In fact, we may need to get 5 days worth of coal there. Word of advice, the wisdom of the crowd. Captain, when facing demands, remember that people usually look for the quickest solution, not the best. You don't have to agree to everything they ask for. If you fix the problem your way, it's fine. Thank you. I'll bear that in mind. Let's trim this down to a couple people. Just bringing in, literally 2 guys just bringing in some coal. People from our convoy. With basic resources secured for now, we can try to rescue the people we left behind. Build a beacon, scout Frostland, and save as many survivors from our expedition as possible. We'll need a workshop to design plans for more advanced buildings. Alright, so we need 5 for the cookhouse, or that's a hunter's hut. Cookhouse here can hold 5. And this will produce 4 food rations from 2 raw food. So basically double. So we have 200 food rations worth of raw food right now. And then when they get going, they'll go and it's comfortable. And then we'll put the max for the moment into being hunters. Now they'll go out, they'll bring in 8 raw food a day. So enough for 16 meals a day. So we're going to be very slowly, constantly decreasing. It's only 5, and then I'll send them out to another wood crate. So we do have to get more people hunting and all that, but we also do need to build the engineer. The workshop. Yeah, hunters, okay. Basically, they work after everybody else works. Like, they work the night. They work from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Alright, there we go. 2 more tents and we'll have everybody housed. In fact, I think I can fit them in right here. That is fairly good. Oh, we're gonna wait for the morrow. And in fact, there go the hunters right now. They're on their way. Disappearing into the coal deposit. Okay. Sure. It's now free time. They're gonna get up, do whatever they need to do. Let's get to work. We can't let up now. Work time. That wood crate is now depleted.
Time to get to work.
Let's stick them all into here. So we do need wood. 1 sick absences because there's probably he probably doesn't have a house. These guys will make 32 meals an hour. So they've just blown through. In fact, I can make it so just 1 guy. Steel wreckage depleted. Alright. Let's put max we can in there. Coal pile depleted. Let's we have 5 days of coal, so we're good on coal for the moment. Let's get some more people working on wood crates. This wood is a little bit low, and we do need wood to,
Night is
you know,
coming.
make our
Down your
weather changes. Alright. Temperature will drop slightly, 2 levels. Well, significantly, not slightly. So, right now we're at minus 20, which is not too bad. And this is our little ticker for days. It's going to drop down 2 levels, so in each level is 10 degrees. So it's going to drop down to minus 40. And then on day 6, it's going to rise back up to minus 30. So the water is something you have to be aware of. And I should actually have them building. Oh, it's a little bit gap. Not quite good enough. And then I need a road running around. Yeah, because they're still sleeping outside by the generator. I mean, tents aren't too good, but they're better than sleeping outside by the generator. And we also need the workshop. Let's pick that in. Add the road running around that way. We can keep going like this for a while, I'd say. Yeah, we got. Who knows? I wonder if the purpose of the purpose of our struggle is to survive, obviously. And I haven't been doing it, but we got a new law we can sign. So, of course, we can turn our attention to food because, as we know, right now, our food supplies are on the lower side. But we can do that. We can either have soup, which people don't like. And took some soup instead of full meals to feed more people with the same amount of raw food. Effectively, it increases it by 25%. Hope will fall slightly, discontent will rise slightly, and eating soup will cause some discontent. Or you could go for food additives. New recipe, sawdust meal. Hope will fall slightly, discontent will rise slightly, and some people eating sawdust meals will fall ill. So, you can either choose to hit your medics harder, because if you're mainlining sawdust meals, people are going to get sicker, or you're going to have to build more discontent handling buildings because they're going to be more discontent. But they won't be sick. It's a game very much about compromises. Lots of compromises. I'm going to go with soup because I don't want to stress my medic building too far, and I only have a limited pool of engineers right now, which is actually going to be exhausted very shortly because I need some of them for the workshop. So, sign in soup, but I won't use soup yet.
Listen, everyone. New law is signed.
Now I know how to porate in the workhouses.
Bundle up. It's getting colder.
Anything to calm the growling stomach, just like in London. And now the temperature has dropped, so now we're at minus 40. So all these buildings... Shelter promise fulfilled. Everybody feels relief of a roof, even a flapping one, over their head. Excuse me. Hope rises. Getting colder every day. I hope I don't freeze to death on duty. So I was trying to show that before that happened. This is the temperature overlay. Right now it's chilly. There's a low risk of them getting ill.
Get to work.
So,
Move, people.
and I'll just pause it for a moment. And you can see they're all chilly because it's cold out. And here's our little gauge. The generator itself is comfortable because it's the main source of heat, obviously. And we have livable, which is there's a very low chance of them getting ill. Basically, no chance. Low chance. Chilly, cold, very cold, and then freezing. So cold is moderate chance. They got a fairly good chance of getting ill. Very cold is a high chance, and there's a low chance of them becoming gravely ill. And then of course there's freezing, which is very high chance of getting ill, and there's a small risk of them requiring an amputation, completely skipping the gravely ill step. So temperature is something you do have to kind of keep in mind. Like, yeah, he's making 10 food an hour with the soup. 5 food rations from 2 raw food. And yeah, we need to have engineers in there. Then of course we have our research tree. So we need a balloon to find more people so that we can have more people working. could go for faster gathering. Could go for hunter's gear. And then eventually bunkhouses when this gets upgraded. Which, that will bring us more food. But I'm gonna go with beacon first. Because we need that. In order to be able to find people. And you can also find food. And then we'll go for food afterwards. And we're getting a little two-tip here saying about generator overdrive. Basically, right now the generator is humming along at its normal capacity. 6 coal an hour. It's generating 1 heat level, basically. We could, right now, overdrive the generator for a bit. Temperature in all heat zones will rise. In this heat zone. So this inner ring, with most of our housing, and our cookhouse, and our medic tent, will rise in temperature. But the generator will then start building stress. I think for the moment, just to make sure that people don't get ill during the night, I will. But I'll have to keep an eye on it. Because if the generator gets too stressed, it will explode. Which is a game over. Which is something we would like to avoid. People from our convoy, family torn apart. Sir, a woman came forward after we built the workshop. Said that her husband and daughter didn't reach the city with the main group. She's sure they're still out there. She wants to join the first scout team we'll send out. She urges you to hurry. We'll do what we can. Take speed up again. Oh. Dangers of the cold. Frostbite. One of our people has become gravely ill due to frostbite. This will keep happening to people if people have to work in such cold. I see. Now, we should... Yeah, we do have a building that we could use instead of having all our people do that. And I think I will actually lay the groundwork for it. This will be a nice spot for it because it's got 3 resources. And over here, I'll run it to here. And that should hopefully hit both of these. I can build, instead of having them work just on the actual plaza itself, in gathering posts, because then they can get healed. Okay. Yeah. I think I need to do that. Balloon researched, beacon researched, allows us to build a beacon, which is scouts. I'm going to stop down a gathering post right here. And a gathering post right there. That way when they're up and going, I can put them into here instead of just putting them on each pile. And then actually, I think that will actually save me manpower, which is going to be important because of the beacon needs manpower. And let's also get the beacon being built.
Gather your tools.
Oh yes, and technology. Next, hunter's gear. This will basically improve how much food our hunters can gather, which will in turn be more raw food. Yeah, this will save me a little bit, because it's 10, and then they'll gather steel and wood, rather than having to put 15 on each. Beacon built, we're no longer lost and blind. From now on, our people will be able to survey the icy barrens that surround us, the Frostland. And a nice little cutscene of the beacon being lit and taking off. And here we have the overworld, the Frostlands. This we're not just confined to our city, although we can't actually physically leave, but we can send scouts look at all these locations. But that's going to do it for this time. So, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all next time.